Hi there, I'm Dr. Faye Frederick, and I'm here to talk to you about my Deepening and Developing Connections workshop. So I'm going to talk about the contents of the workshop, who this workshop is for, and I'm just going to share a little bit about my spark of joy that I have around this project. So the contents of the workshop, what are we talking about here, Faye? At its core, this workshop is about creating community intentionally and quickly, much faster than it would happen maybe on its own, because on its own, it might not actually happen at all. I've been talking about community and connections long before COVID. It's a lot of what I do in my job as a psychologist. And I actually think community and connection is more important now than ever. And I hope that we can take this opportunity that's been given to us by the pandemic to come back into the world differently, to let go of the ways of being that kept us isolated, old habits that weren't helpful to us. I hope we can just start to come together intentionally and quickly to value community in a new and incredible way. It takes work, but we can do it, right? And that process starts with getting to know ourselves. We can't show up for other people unless we can show up for ourselves, unless we can really see who we are, what is important to us, what are our vulnerabilities, our, what some people call baggage. So that's what the first part of the workshop focuses on. After that, I talk about boundaries, the age-old topic. Everybody loves a good boundary, right? So I really lay out the intricacy of boundaries, where they come from, how they're connected to our vulnerabilities, and what a healthy balance is with our boundary system. It's not just about letting people in or shutting people out. It's about letting the right people in at the right time. And okay, so in the third section of the workshop, I talk about how to get to know humans, the real version of them. I do give some practical guidance and ideas, and to help you, move through relationships differently, to help you get out of the mire that is polite conversation. We don't really make friends in that polite space. We need to really get to know humans for who they are, to see if we find them interesting, to see if we, can have a connection, if we do want to build community with them. So a lot of this section is about reducing assumptions about other people, and really creating conscious, dedicated spaces for us to be in together, to be in community, and to work on the relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic. And then in the final session, we talk about conflict, everybody's favorite. Um, I hope that I can really change people's opinion about conflict. It is not a bad thing. We've just been looking at it all wrong. Conflict is really a bid for connection. It's avoidance of conflict that will kill a relationship. If we can approach conflict with the right type of skills and the right mindset, we can use conflict to grow, to mend the relationship, to make it stronger. So, whew, that's a lot to do in one workshop. That's why it's broken in several sections, and I have lectures from my fake leather armchair, and I got slides, and I've got a 40-page workbook that is honestly full of more reflection exercises and homework than one person can realistically complete. But it's all there for you, because each section of the workbook is going to connect differently for different people. So I wanted to give everyone the best opportunity. Whatever you find in the workbook that's helpful for you, dive into that. If you want to not dive into other parts, that's okay. But I'll be with you the whole way to walk you through the exercises and the topics that are, whatever I'm talking about is in the workbook. And in fact, sometimes expanded on in the workbook, sometimes expanded on in the talk. Who is this workshop for? Well, if you're still watching this video, it's probably for you. If you haven't gotten bored of this video yet, that tells me that the topics I'm talking about are interesting for you. This workshop is not for people without social skills. It's not for, hermits living out in the woods. No, this is just for regular old folks. This is for people who are tired of doing things alone, people who wish they had more close friends, those who are really longing for a community, people who are ready to create the community that I was talking about earlier, a place where we can grow and thrive. This workshop is especially helpful for people who have realized making connections as an adult is hard. Our friends are no longer handed to us in a classroom setting. And it's especially made for and developed in the context of the expat and the foreign service, member and their families, and really anyone who has chosen to or has had to move around a lot. People who don't spend a lot of time in one place, or they spend a lot of time in a place that's very different from where they came from. So this really focuses on how we can make community wherever we are and how we can actually create a global community in our global world, how to use technology for our benefit. So if you fall into one of those categories, and if the rest of what I was saying sounds interesting, yeah, maybe this workshop is for you. This workshop has received a ton of positive feedback. People really like it, which is why I digitized it, so that I could get the word out to more people, so that I could help more people grow better communities. It's based on science, evidence-based research, and really years of professional experience. My professional experience as a psychologist. This workshop is literally just my distilled conversations with hundreds of people over thousands of hours. These are the conversations that I was having the most often, and the topics that I found to be the most helpful to my clients, and the things that were really helping people make the biggest change. This is really hard work, creating community, and this workshop, gives you the tools to do that, but it can't create community for you. Only you can do that. It's hard work, but it's really honorable work, and it's the best thing you can do for yourself. So for many of you, this will be the boost you need to make some big changes. This will be that final push to encourage you to be a little bit different, to try something new, maybe to reach out to some old friends you have, right? But others may have a little bit of trouble. You might need to have a little bit of assistance to help apply some of these concepts specifically to your situation. And that's okay too. I'm here for it. Just send me a message and we can talk about it. So I insisted on digitizing this workshop, and I gave it, so many times, because I really do believe that we can be our best selves when we are in community. I worked really hard once I moved abroad to create community. It was my #1 priority. And these days, I am feeling my best when I'm in community, when I am within that supportive system that I very consciously worked on. I did all of that because, well, that strong, independent person narrative really wasn't working for me anymore. I don't know. I think it's a myth. I don't think it's really working for anybody. It's important to be independent and be able to rely on yourself. It's just as important to be interdependent and to be able to rely on other people. So, if that narrative really isn't working for you anymore, and you would like to be in that place of community where you can be inspired and aligned and the best version of yourself and being pushed by the best versions of the people around you. Um, you know, I would love to be able to share the tools I found to be helpful for myself and many others, so that you can get closer to that place. Um, and you know, if after all of this talking, you're still on the fence, check out my blog on my website. Check out the resources I have there. I write about community a lot. I've done some talks in the past about values. My website is drfae.com, drfae.com. And if you like what I say there, you'll like what I say here. So take your time, check it out. I hope to see you in the workshop. Take care.